Good afternoon and welcome to Q Questions, where each week we pull back the curtain on Q, one of the most powerful trial presentation platforms in the legal world. I'm Gene, your host, and joining me here, as always, is Rob, OnQ's Director of User Development and all-around OnQ guru, if you will. For those of you watching on YouTube, welcome. And for those of you who have clicked the link in the description and are joining us right here in the studio, that's even better. If you would like to do the same, you can click the link in the comments, activate your camera, and we will bring you on as soon as possible. Rob, how are we doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great. And before we get anything started, anybody that's watching this thing, put it in the comments. If you're watching this later on YouTube, put it in the comments. Happy birthday to Mean Gene, behind the scenes Gene. It is your birthday today. Happy birthday, my friend. We're glad to have you here. And hey, is your check engine light turning on yet? Are you still in your warranty period?
Oh man. Well, first of all, thank you very much. And man, that check engine light, much like the truck I used to have, has been on like just steadily for about a year and a half. And I'm probably going to do like my father-in-law did in his old Jeep. He just put a piece of electric tape over it so they couldn't see it anymore. So
there you go.
I'm going to handle that. But beyond that, there's some other exciting things going on. I know there's one exciting thing you want to talk about right here at the jump, right?
Yep, go.
Boom.
The third quarter training announcement. All right, guys, you know we do quarterly trainings. Everybody knows they're done at a discount because they're designed for solo practitioners, people that don't have a group and a firm that the firm is paying for the training. We want to get you in here. We do these quarterlies. They're $600 a person to come in. We're going to do 2 of them. Now, last quarter, if you'll remember, we got a little crazy, Gene, and we did it for free. Yeah. And we had 300 people in that thing, and it was crazy. Well, we're doing it again. We're not doing it free this time. Of course, every once in a while, I may spring a free one on you, but don't think we won't be generous. We're doing 2 of them for the third quarter because sometimes people can't make the date that we chose. And they're like, man, if it was a week before or a week after, man, I'm in trial that week. Yeah. So we're doing 2 of them. The email just went out. So everybody check your email, check your spam folders, check everything. We sent the email out. We host 4 quarterly sessions each year. This time we're going to do 2 for the third quarter, and as an early registration incentive, the first 25 people to sign up in either one, the first 25 people are going to receive 10 complimentary ProSync hours directed right into your account. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you come to the training. That's your prerequisite to get OnQ certified. And then that's how you get to the advanced training. And it looks like we got somebody in here today, Gene. What the heck? Somebody coming in on the show. I love that. Man. I love that when people have questions and they're going to come in here live. Don't be shy.
That's right. So here we go. We're going to bring Tim up right now. Tim.
Oh, Lord, that guy. Hey, what's going on, Timbo?
Hey, guys. So this is a sync question. I've got a huge trial coming up. And this attorney loves to use an IPVO during depositions and create a picture-in-picture. IPVO is a type of document camera. He loves to hand draw timelines in picture-in-picture format. And depending on the rulings or objections, when I come down to creating clips, he'll either let me use the picture-in-picture version, or I have to go back to the witness-only version. So we cut out all the picture-in-picture stuff. Can I sync the same transcript to both the picture-in-picture and witness-only videos and then draw that into, actually, I'm going to do it through ProSync. Will that cause a conflict in OnQ having 2 exactly the same name transcripts, but going to 2 different videos?
You're just going to give the transcript a different ID. So you're going to have one that the transcripts may say Rob Helt, and one of the transcripts may say Rob Helt head only. And you can absolutely sync to both. And then what I would do is, once he makes his decision on what he wants to do, I would create a playlist, a designation list. I would create a designation list, and I would put in, you can drag from either one. And so you've got, if you create designations of the head, designations. If it were me, I would create designations for the picture-in-picture version. Yes. And then I would create the same exact designations for the head-only version, because time code is time code is time code, right? And so after I did that, once he made the decision of whether I want PIP or whether I want head, I would then just drag them to a new designation list of which ones are going where in the order they're going, and then boom, be done.
Or actually what happened last time is that he had gone witness only for so long that when the last clip I played, he wanted picture in picture. So I guess if I had 2 sets, I could just switch really quickly. If the head only was going up and he wants to see the picture in picture, I could just click on. That's great. So with that, there's going to be like 90 depositions and they all average about 5 hours. It's going to fill up my hard drive. Can I move the online case tree to external hard drive and just run everything off of that?
Sure. Just go into preferences, go down to case, click on case, and then map where you want your synced videos folder. The _ sync videos, you want it mapped to the external drive, and that's where you want video to come from, so it doesn't tax out your hard drive.
Oh, so I don't have to move the whole tree. I just move
what you want to move. You can move audio visuals, you can move documents, and you can move sync videos. So that way, because some audio visuals, I mean, we know that some audio visuals are flipping huge, right? They're big AVI files or big JPEG or big MP4 files are huge, dash cam video, stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't want to eat up my hard drive. So I may work off an external. I may work off of a NAS. I may work, whatever's fastest for me.
Very good. That's it. I just wanted to get those answered, and transcript. Yep, that's it. Thanks,
man.
Tim.
Thanks for coming on, dude. I appreciate it. Hey, Danny. She said hey to me. I had her comment was up there. Hey, that's Danny Brown. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, girl? You should come on the show. I know you've been on the show before. Come on if you got any questions. We'll leave Tim down there backstage. He gets to hang out with us.
Cool.
What do we got next, Gino? Hit me up. You said we were going to talk about some licensing today. What do we got?
Yeah, we've had some questions come in, such as this one. Once I've downloaded OnQ and signed up, how do I renew my subscription each month? Oh,
so when you signed up, so here's a common misconception. We don't manage we don't create your license. We don't take your money. There's a company that handles that. That's why you get the email from FastSpring, and that's the company that authenticates everything. If you're on a monthly plan, it's going to be just like Dollar Shave Club or Planet Fitness or, My Blue Apron, whatever. You're going to have a monthly fee, and every month that's going to be a recurring charge. And it's just going to recur every month until you cancel it, which you can cancel it by the email that you're sent. You're sent an email that says it's about to renew. And of course, if you're on monthly, you're going to get that like every 3 weeks. You're going to get an email. This thing's about to renew. If you want to, at the bottom of that email, it says cancel. You don't have to email us to cancel your subscription. So it's going to renew each month until you choose to cancel it or you just lapse in your payment. And if your payment lapses, then, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Right. Now, I know you've mentioned in the past there is an annual option. So what are the advantages of an annual subscription over the monthly flex pay?
Nothing other than peace of mind. And it's cheaper. I mean, if you look at our website, you look at the pricing page, it's going to be cheaper to do an annual than it is to do. And the way I always looked at it as a hot seater, and this doesn't reflect OnQ's opinion or anybody else's opinion, but the way I did it, I always looked at P&L, right?
Yeah.
I always looked at assets and liabilities. And if this is the thing, here's my thing for hot seaters, right? This is the one tool that you cannot do your job without.
Yeah.
Besides this and a laptop, you can't do your job without this tool. Not necessarily OnQ. If you use Trial Director, if you use whatever, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying without a presentation software and without a good laptop, you can't do this job. But yet at the same time, you're billing for this job. So what I would look at is I would say, okay, OnQ is going to cost me whatever the yearly amount is. I'm going to bill that in one day.
Right.
And so I'm just going to get the yearly and not have to worry about a recurring charge every month. Plus it's cheaper. It's cheaper. You go to do anything. It'll give you an annual cost and a monthly cost. My insurance is cheaper if I pay by 6 months versus if I paid monthly, right? Because there's a fee to do that. And so, yeah, I would always go with yearly. You know, that's a great way to go, is with yearly on that.
And you've kind of already addressed this, but we'll go ahead. Somebody sent this in, so we'll just make it as clearly as possible. Does OnQ store my credit card information and keep it on file for future payments?
No, and that's where people get wigged out, right? So check this out. So if you're a month-to-month subscriber and you're paying monthly, and I'm not knocking monthly, I'm on monthly on a lot of things. Matter of fact, I hadn't been to Planet Fitness in 6 months. They're still billing me. Well, that's, you know, so I'm a monthly guy, right? All right. If my credit card lapses and I decide I'm not going to renew for this month, a lot of people will come back and they'll try to use their same license key and password. And you can't,
right?
Because you have to just go buy a new license. Those are not recyclable. Once you've used it and the system said there's no payment to go with this license, it cancels it. It's done. That license can never be used again. And in kind, we don't store your credit card information. We don't have that. We don't keep that. We're not that kind of a business. That's why we use a third party to handle the licensing of getting you your license and your software for download. And that's what FastSpring is. We don't handle that. So we don't keep credit card numbers on file, nor do we ever want to. That's not something that we would ever want to do in our stead as developers.
So you could say too, not only does OnQ not store their credit card information, at no point does OnQ have their credit card information, because the third party that processes the licenses that have the secure network for payments has it. And then it, you know, after it's paid, then you know, that's it. So,
right. It's just like me. You know, when I do quarterlies, everybody who's ever done a quarterly or anybody who's ever done a training with us, if they weren't on an invoice, if they had to pay by card, I don't ever see those card numbers. I see that you signed up and I see that you paid your money, but I get a bunch of X's,
right,
where the card number is. It's a bunch of X's, and I can never go in. The only thing I can do is I can go in and I can say refund, right? And I can give it a reason to refund. Other than that, I can't do anything. I can't see anything. I don't even have the name on the card. I have the name that you put in that you were registering. So I don't know any of that information, and we just don't know that. So we can't just go in and say, okay, hey, I need to reactivate. Well, reactivate just means you're buying a whole new license. And the beauty of that is that when you lose OnQ on your machine, or you uninstall it, or it just doesn't work for licensing, you don't lose your data. Your data is always there. That's on your machine. That has nothing to do with OnQ. When you uninstall OnQ, you will still have your entire case folder that's got everything in it there.
Yep.
And we see people that come and go all the time. People are like, hey, just finished the trial. We'll see you next year. All right, man, cool. We'll see you next year. You know, we don't see any of that. We don't see who cancels. We don't see who signs up. We don't see any of that, because it's just not something that we focus on.
Absolutely. I think here's a kind of an interesting and fun question, or pair of questions to end on here. Throughout the development of OnQ, what feature were you most excited about, and which one felt like the biggest game changer?
Is that posed to me?
Yes.
Oh, throughout the development, man, what feature was I most excited about? When we were able to export video with the text, with the sync text with it, and then could do linked exhibits with it too, and export it to an MP4.
Yeah.
I was involved in that from the very, very beginning, first line of code. And so I was very excited about that one. Which one felt like the biggest game changer? Oh, by far the designation wizard. The designation wizard was a time suck saver, right? Like back in the day, Gene, whether you use Sanction or Trial Director or whatever you used, you had to get the formatting just right for what it was going to take to make your quote clips or designations, right?
Yeah.
And the formatting always had to be this certain, everybody had their own certain formatting, and it had to be this way. And if one flipping line was wrong, it made everything else wrong. And you had to go fix this and fix that. And it was just a time suck.
Yeah.
And so when the wizard came out, Eric's vision of the wizard, I remember the day he brought it up, was, I want this thing to just take all the garbage and just sorted itself. It's got to be able to be smart enough to say they mean this. It may not say this, but this is what they mean. That's probably the biggest game changer for me. Now, of course, there have been bigger game changers since Wizard came out, since the designation Wizard came out. But I thought the designation dashboard was a game changer. You got to understand something. I'm a mark for this stuff. I really love even the smallest little features, the create a new exhibit from current exhibit, those types of things. Those things fascinate me because it's all things we didn't have coming up in the business. You know what I mean? And so I think those are my two.
And anything that saves you that significant amount of time is a game changer, because that's the most important thing, right? To have enough hours in the day to do all this stuff. So,
bro, you're not a hot seater if you hadn't watched the sun set, rise, and set.
Right.
Oh, I mean, man, bro, because that's the way it was. I mean, I remember I would spend nights at the hotel, man, just sitting there pressing the space bar, syncing a video that they just gave me, you know, and things like that. I had to do that. We've all been there. We've all done that. And on cue's thing was always kiss the all-nighter goodnight. And, you know, we're implementing things because we're lazy and we don't, you know, nobody wants to stay up all night. And so that's kind of how it works. We just try not to put a bunch of fluff in there, man. Who the hell is going to use carousel mode? Nobody. We're not going to put that kind of fluff in there. The development it would be better off to develop on something else, like how to get two videos to run side by side without killing the machine, that type of thing.
Absolutely. Well, man, I think this has been a pretty solid episode of Q Questions, Rob. What do you think?
I think so. Thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank Tim for coming in. I love that, guys. When you come in and we can have a discussion, you know, I'm in discussions right now with a good friend of mine, 25, 30-year friend of mine, who is a hot seater. He's a lawyer, a videographer. He's done it all. Settlement documentary guru. I'm thinking about bringing him on. We're talking right now to try to get his schedule pinned down, and we're going to talk about how things used to be back in the old days, kind of some of the old equipment we used to use and how we used to have to prep things. And because I don't think a lot of people now, you know, if they've come into the business since COVID or they've even come into the business since maybe 07, they don't know the junk that we had to go through to get things to work, you know, and it's kind of crazy. So we're going to reminisce, go down memory lane. It all has to do with on cue, right? Because it's like, we don't want to do that stuff anymore. Everybody's like, oh, I miss the good old days. No, I don't. I don't miss them at all. I like reminiscing about them, but I'm too old now and I like my sleep. And so, you know, but yeah, man. So hats off to everybody out there that's doing hot seat work. Listen, guys, I feel for you. You're out there. I don't know that my patience could handle it anymore. And I'm an old man now. And, you know, all of my reflexes aren't as good as they used to be. But thank you for definitely being on Q customers, on Q users. And thank you for coming to Q Questions. So get set up for that training if you want to get in. The more training you get, the better you get at this program. And the more you use it, the better you do. So I'm going to give you the pencil, Gene. Take us home.
Absolutely. Hey, don't forget, join us over at our OnQ community at community.onqtech.com. We'd love to see you there. We'd love you to join the conversation and hit us up over there. And of course, you can always hit us up right here every Wednesday at noon live for another episode of Q Questions.